Josh. I don't know how to explain it. I'm giddy. I'm happy, excited, thrilled, even. This is Saturday. We're recording on a Saturday at 11:15 a.m. We just watched both Game 1 and Game 2 of the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference Finals. Welcome back to Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast brought to you by Big City Wings. Shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out today if you're in the Houston area. Shout out to Prize Picks, our daily fantasy app, where you hit more or less on every stat, every player, every night, every game, especially during the NBA playoffs. I'm hitting more on Luka's points every game from here on out until eternity. Seems like it's a good way to win money on daily fantasy sports. Use code Apollo when you sign up for Prize Picks and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Shout out to Sweet Green. If you want to be healthy, if you want to be a little bit better on a Saturday or Sunday this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and you're saving up for Monday, go to Sweet Green. Use code Apollo50 on your first mobile order on Sweet Green and get up to 50% off on your first mobile order at Sweet Green. Shout out to Sweet Green. Shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to Big City Wings, our partners for Zero Gravity. Apollo Media's NBA podcast brought to you by all of those people. Hello, Josh. How are we this morning?
Hi. Great. I'm comfortable, happy, healthy. Woke up this morning. Got a little 3 a.m. water in my system. Feeling great. I know you're amazing, but you're very much on the side of jobs not finished. But we got to remember, we are citizens who are consuming this. We are not Kobe Bryant. So live a little. Be excited, man. Like this is big time. You probably haven't felt this since 2011, right? This is huge. Like,
yeah,
how are
I
we
think
feeling?
I felt a little bit of it in 2022 during the Phoenix series. That Phoenix team was the best team in the NBA, 60-plus wins during the regular season. No one picked the Mavs. Luka said they always like to talk when they up. Had a lot of motivation during that series. Obviously, it was the second round. It wasn't the Western Conference Finals yet, but probably the most fun I've had since then, for sure. It's, yeah. So last night, obviously, was Game 2 of the Minnesota Timberwolves and Dallas Mavericks Western Conference Finals matchup. But we'll get into the Eastern Conference Finals and get that out of the way first because PU. So we watched Game 1 on Tuesday night. We recorded on Tuesday night right before the game started. But, I mean, what an utter collapse out of that Pacers team. They had the lead in the fourth quarter. It looked like they were going to steal one on the road on Game 1 in Boston at TD Garden. And they shit down their leg.
Yeah.
Tremendously.
No, exactly. There's nothing you can even compare it to other than maybe I remember when the Boston fans were leaving, it made me feel like the Miami Heat in the 2013 or 14 NBA Finals before Ray Allen hit that shot.
Yeah, 13.
Seeing that like 10 or so people just watching outside of the bar, it made me realize that, outside of this entire Pacers collapse, Boston, bad sports town. I'm asking questions. I know they win a lot, but are they too spoiled? Anyway, we'll get after that in a minute. I think the problem here with the Pacers, not only Tyrese Halliburton getting sent to the gulag by Drew Holiday down the stretch there, but just the overall lack of execution was just disgusting. Rick Carlisle is essentially in Game 2, if you want to fast forward a little bit, just giving up on his team down, what were they, down 15 in the third quarter, and you're seeing Doug McDermott get minutes. I don't understand what's happening, and I don't know if I ever will, because this Pacers team seemed like they had a lot of fight in them, and it felt like during Game 1 they're actually going to pull it off on the road, and who knows, they could make this a series, at least make it go 6. But for right now, this is gross. This is gross basketball. I don't have much else to add other than I fucking hate this series, and I wish that we could get half of what I feel during Mavs Timberwolves in this Eastern Conference series, so we can just have something to feel and talk about. But as for right now, this sucks. Like, I want this series to be better, get better. I want the Pacers to be better, get better. Pascal Siakam, I'm looking at you, kind of a dog situation over there. I feel like Tyrese is the dog is getting released outside of his body, and as well as another person on this Timberwolves Mavs series that we'll be getting to in a minute as well. There's no dog in them. A lot of tour dates going on. This stinks. And why don't we just talk about the West? Do you have anything to add real quick, and we'll just get after it?
I do. So Game 1 against the Celtics, Pacers are up, I don't know, was it 3 or 5, somewhere towards the end of the fourth quarter. Tyrese Halliburton just dribbles it out of bounds, like loses his dribble. And like, obviously he's getting pressured full court. Tyrese Halliburton, you're a point guard that has a good decent handle, a good point guard, a great point guard even. You probably would have made second team All NBA if you stayed healthy this entire season. Like a great point guard. Just dribble it into the half court. The other problem was Rick Carlisle didn't take the timeout that he had at that point. Like what are there 15, 20 seconds left? Like all they had to do was just dribble it into the half court, call timeout, get a play set, get some points, get a free throw, game's over. Rick Carlisle says it in the press conference. It was the game's on him. He didn't call the timeout when he should have. We've seen that a few times in the playoffs for multiple teams now, where they had an opportunity just to take the timeout and advance the ball, and they didn't do it. They lose the ball, or they have a shitty turnover, or they don't make a shot because they didn't get a play set up, and then the game's over because they lost it on not taking a timeout, essentially. So that's on Rick Carlisle, but also on Halliburton for not taking the timeout. Like, someone just got to take a timeout in that situation. Jaylen Brown, credit to you for hitting that corner three on Pascal Siakam. Big boy shot. We talk about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown a lot as NBA heads, as most people do, and we're like, why are they not better than they are? Why? Just why? No one understands what's wrong with them. We understand that Jaylen Brown can't dribble with his left hand. We understand that Jason Tatum isn't hitting like incredible game-winning shots like we saw last night. He just doesn't have flair about him, and I think that's the problem with Jason Tatum. There's no aura. There's no dog. Sure, he scored 50 in an Eastern Conference semifinals game last year, game 7. Like, he does incredible things. He's an incredible player. Bill Simmons was talking about it. That's why I'm bringing it up. I think it's just because he's not like the most entertaining basketball player. He's an incredible basketball player. He's probably 6th, 5th best player in the world. And it's just like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, he plays incredible defense. He has a great mid-range game. Like, he can get into the post if he wants to. He's good on the fast break. Like, and everyone's like, fuck Jason Tatum. I get it. He's not the most entertaining, but he's an incredible basketball player, and we have to all recognize that as NBA podcasters. Like, I don't understand why people don't realize that, because is it the aura list? Like, Deuce has more aura than his dad. It's the problem. But Jaylen Brown, he hits that corner three on Pascal Siakam to send it to overtime, and then basically in overtime it was over. Like, there was no shot from the Pacers. It seemed like every wind had been sucked out of them. There was nothing left in game 1, and then game 2, Halliburton obviously gets hurt. It's the same hamstring that hurt him earlier in the season, so it's going to be a gentleman sweep. Siakam's going to take over a game. They'll win something in Indiana, game 3 or game 4 tonight or Monday, whenever it may be. Like, that's just what it is. Congrats to the Boston Celtics for making it to the finals.
Be nice.
I'm sorry. I'm just pointing out what's true.
You're right. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that Tyrese Halliburton, there's a lot of guys, and we'll get to this in a second. There's a lot of guys that have knee or leg issues who are just playing through it and being awesome and really just showing us who's really a dog. Not saying that Tyrese could play through this, but I'm saying when your back's against the wall and you have like the old NBA heads who are like, man, fuck that, I'd play through that. Something's not going right. I feel like this is almost I feel like people have probably said this before, but a 2021 Atlanta Hawks kind of Mickey Mouse vibe. They got there, they're here, and then they're just going to get absolutely ran out of the building. Even saying gentleman sweep is kind of nice, I will say, because assuming Tyrese Halliburton even plays a minute or is halfway healthy or just completely unhealthy to where he can't play at all, this could get bad. This could get violent. This could get bad. I don't like it. I don't like what's happening. I wish that we had some form of competitiveness, some form of like consistency with this series so far. And I'm glad that we had an actually fun game 1, because I think that might be the most enjoyment that we will be experiencing throughout this entire series. And Jason Tatum being kind of a player where people were making fun of him because he kind of humps the ball, because he kind of has that weird follow through where he starts or like comes down, goes up, shoots it, but he kind of like does some things to that ball. Cue the Adrian Peterson. When I seen him throw that ball, remember that one? That was a good one. I think the problem with a lot of people is they're getting this some sort of, and I hate to use this term, but like the TikTok brain where their buzzwords are just being thrown out, especially with major talking heads. Like you're hearing Bill Simmons say the word aura. Like that was just something that people in TikTok comments would say like a year ago. Like and even people would be like, that's funny because like nobody like says this that's like that much. Like it's not a serious talking point. But even Will, one of the Rockets guys on Twitter, said that Rob Dillingham has aura in his like little mini scouting report that he did. And I'm sure obviously it was kind of a bit like a little silly joke or whatever. But I feel like that actually is starting to matter to some people, but it shouldn't. Same thing with Anthony Edwards. Like I know he's been playing really bad recently, but people are saying this aura situation. Like, dude, I get that it started out as a bit, but like it's not a bit anymore. Like Bill Simmons is saying aura. Like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing here?
But when you look back at the basketball that we grew up with, so think about all the superstars. We had Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, even Dwight Howard had aura when he's dominating in the Eastern Conference game. Like, you're like, damn, this is sick. Like, he's dunking on people. He's grabbing the rebounds. His shoulders are wider than anything you've ever seen in your life. Like, even Paul Pierce, like, shit his pants and came back in the finals. Like, that had more aura than what Jason Tatum is having right now.
Stop doubling down on this, please.
I'm just saying, like, all the superstars, for the most part, when we were growing up, early 2000s, 2010s, like, it was sick to watch them. Like, there was something about everyone. And Jason Tatum, I don't like him. I don't know what it is. I think it's because, like, he's my least favorite Duke player of the last 10 years. Like,
yeah.
And as a big Brotherhood member, as a Duke graduate that never went to Duke, I don't know. I never liked Jason Tatum when he was at Duke. And then he got drafted by the Celtics. I instantly hated him more because he's on the Celtics. Like, I don't know what it is. There's something about Jason Tatum that just doesn't click in my brain. And he's like one of the top 6 basketball players in the world right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's that's all it is. Like, I don't know what it is.
If you feel that way about him right now, then that's probably never going to change because he's already made it to a finals. What is it going to take for him to win one? Even then, you're going to be like, fuck this guy. Like, I don't enjoy this. My favorite tweet of almost this entire playoffs was someone saying that Pascal Siakam was digging in his ass when he was guarding the Jaylen Brown, because he was in his like landing space or whatever you want to call it, because it was a tight corner, and just seeing someone say that Pascal Siakam had to dig in his ass in order to guard Jaylen Brown legally. Hilarious stuff. This playoffs has been an all-time funny one, but in regards for entertainment, we've had great series so far. But maybe I'll double down on what you're saying. Maybe this playoffs has no aura. Luka brought it back last night. We'll get to that here.
No, the Eastern Conference playoffs had zero aura this entire run. Like the Hospital Knicks, the Hospital Heat, the Hospital Bucks, now the Hospital Pacers. It's like, man, everyone's hurt, and that's not like a discredit to the people that are in the Eastern Conference, like the teams that are in the Eastern Conference Finals. They ran through the teams that they had to run through, and it was partially because of injuries. Like that Heat team, if they're healthy and Jimmy Butler's healthy, Terry Rozier's healthy, they probably win 2 games.
Yeah,
like so it's not much different result, but at least they're more entertaining, probably closer game. If the Knicks are healthy, they're probably in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like if Julius Randle is just healthy and Jalen Brunson doesn't break his hand, they're probably in the Eastern Conference Finals instead of this Pacers team. The Bucks, if Giannis is healthy and Dame is healthy, then potentially we'd never even see this Pacers team post the first round anyway. So it's like all of these what ifs that happened during the Eastern Conference Finals, and I don't think you can say that about the Western Conference Finals per se. Like, sure, Jamal Murray could have been healthier. Sure, Kawhi could have been healthier, but like, I think we're kind of still in the same boat. I think we have the 2 best teams in the West right now, playing wise. Like Luka's not healthy either, but he's still there and he's still playing. So I don't know. The Eastern Conference Finals is kind of a dud this year, and we've been talking about the East the entire season on this podcast. Like East kind of stinks. It is what it is, and
it's been that way for so long. It stinks.
And maybe next season it's better. Maybe everyone comes back healthier, and then it's a gauntlet, and the Celtics have a competition in the East, and Miami makes a trade somehow, and Cleveland makes a few moves, and they get better because they got rid of some players. Whatever it may be, like maybe we get lucky next year with the Eastern Conference Finals or the entire playoffs in general, and it matches the West energy this year.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
There's better players in the East too. There's great players in the East, but um, I cannot believe we just made it 15 minutes talking about the East. That's crazy. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and take the baton
Okay.
and start off with a bombshell, just so I can get kind of your vibe, your opinion. I halfway told you this earlier. What we're
Hmm.
seeing with Luka Doncic's knee, leg, whatever you want to, whatever situation, the bleeding. Do you think that there is a chance that Luka Doncic ends up having T Mac, Tracy McGrady knees by the time he's 30?
No.
Keep going.
No.
Yeah. No.
We're not bringing this into existence. One, two completely different players. T Mac is an athletic freak, running all over the court, played defense a different way, and his offensive game was much different than Luka's. So even if Luka's knees go, it's like he's probably still going to give you like 28 and 8 a game when he's like 34. Like, I
Jesus
mean,
Christ.
just the way he plays, he's able to shoot better than T Mac was. He just doesn't have to rely on his athleticism as much. Like, obviously, against the Clippers, against the OKC Thunder, like, their defenders made him work a lot tougher, and he was a little bit more banged up than he was in this series. He had like 4 days off before this series started, so that helped out. Got some rest, and now he's not playing linebackers as his
Yeah,
defender. Like,
essentially.
his defender is not a linebacker, so he's able to work a little bit more freely. He's able to make those step backs. He's able to get in the paint again. So
Yeah.
I don't think so. If he had to play Lou Dort 82 games a year, then yeah, we need to have that conversation. But
Right.
it's 4 or 5 times a year, so and
Right.
it's not going to be the same intensity as it is during the playoffs. So no, I think he's fine. I just don't want him to play this summer because he played a lot last summer too with the FIBA World Cup. So I just need him to take a summer off. But no, I don't think they're the same. It's not like Derrick Rose and Russell Westbrook, like T Mac. These guys are all athletically gifted and rely on their athleticism in order to score points and play defense and all these things. Luka doesn't. He has athleticism, but it's a strange athleticism that doesn't make sense in physics or reality. Like, it's a weird athleticism that isn't reliable on top end speed and quickness and all those kinds of things. So I think he's fine. I
Yeah.
think he's okay.
This leads to an even bigger conversation, what we kind of saw mostly during game one and parts of game two. Um, Jaden McDaniels is being just put in a blender. And of course, out of all situations, out of all the bad luck that Rudy Gobert has faced over the past couple years, him doing the COVID thing when he didn't know, like, which we can look at it and be like, you're a fucking idiot. But like, he didn't know. Anyway, Luka being so fast left to right, but not quick. Or maybe being quick but not fast. I don't know how you would kind of differentiate, but whenever I see Jaden McDaniels just being put in a blender, because all it takes is one step for Luka to just either drive past you, drive past kick out, or drive past get a shot off, some kind of situation like that. He was just being put in a fucking blender. And these Timberwolves teams shooting the Cat and Ant-Man shooting fucking tour dates. This is not helping the situation. I'm so glad to see Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid step up on offense. And Rudy Gobert as well. Like, I mean, I'm not saying Rudy Gobert is like a crazy difference maker, which I mean, he kind of is, but not in the way that we all want him to be. That's why the discourse with Rudy Gobert has just gotten so crazy over the past couple years, especially if you want to put a magnifying glass on the past couple months. I'm so happy that at least if one team is going to go up 2-0, I think the Mavs have won by what, a combined 4 points in two
Yes.
games. This is incredible stuff. And last thing, the only difference maker that I really saw, I think I was really tuned in the fourth quarter, like really, really locked in. I know the Mavs only won by 1, but that Daniel Gafford no call where he just pushed Mike Conley to the ground and then made probably one of the weirdest circus shots I've seen in a long time. He was almost at 180 degree, like his body was flat like this for the YouTube viewers, and he just shoots it up underhanded, completely goes in right off the backboard, perfect, no rim bounce, no nothing. That was the difference maker, and I cannot believe it. Naz Reid comes down and or off the inbound, gets a pass, and in and out. That game couldn't have gone any better for the Mavericks, I can't believe that it went down the way it did, and you're up 2-0. How do you feel?
So I've got some things to say about this series. So game one, we're going to go back to that real quick. Jaden McDaniels, let's just read a stat line. 9 for 15, 6 of 9 from 3, 24 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Played good defense, but they were playing drop coverage on Luka. Luka loves drop coverage because it just opens the entire paint for mid-range, essentially, or a lob if they don't drop. So he loved that. He's getting played one-on-one instead of getting doubled like he was in OKC. In game two, they decided to double him instead of playing drop coverage, and the same result. It's literally the same result. 33 points in game one. I think he had 32 in game two. Rudy Gobert. I need to have a conversation with you. I think I understand why everyone hates you. Because you don't perform in the playoffs on defense like you do in the regular season. And it's a regular season award. I get that, but everyone understands who you are in the playoffs. Cooked, blender. What else do you want to say about Rudy Gobert? Like, Derek Lively is cooking you on the offensive end and also boxing you out and getting just as many rebounds, if not more, in half the amount of time that on the floor. Like, he's playing less minutes. He's playing better defense than Rudy Gobert. Like, can we talk about Derek Lively for a second?
Yes.
Locking up Anthony Edwards last night in game two. Locking him up with the game on the line. They're up 2 points. They need one bucket or a free throw, and all of a sudden they have to hit a three in order to just tie the game. He just locks him up. He picks up his dribble at the top of the key because Derek Lively just stays in front of him. Rudy Gobert on the other end then has to guard the Mavericks' best player, Luka Doncic, and gets put in a fucking blender, and he's on an island by himself, much like Derek Lively was with Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards threw the ball out of bounds because he's scared of Derek Lively. Luka Doncic looked at Rudy Gobert, and it's the Madagascar thing with the lion, and all of a sudden, every single animal in front of him just turns into a T-bone steak, and he's like, yep, lunchtime. Lunch fucking time in Minnesota. Everyone in the building was shocked when he hits the step back three, and it's, you know, the meme, the video of the large man in the gym by himself, and he's like, this is how Luka Doncic plays basketball, and he just does the dribble in between the legs 6 times and then steps back and hits a 3. It's exactly what happened. Bar for bar, word for word, stole his entire flow. Like, it's exactly what happened. And in the post game, Luka goes, I'm not fast, but I'm faster than him. And when Luka hit the shot, Draymond Green is smiling from ear to ear. Shaq has his hands on his head. He's like, holy shit. Like, this is just what Luka does. It's the exact same shot he hit against the Clippers in 2020 in that game 6 in overtime to win the game. It's the exact same thing. And it's just incredible. I mean, credit to the Timberwolves. They're playing them tough. They were up 18 points last night in the first half and heading into the second half. Like, just kind of cooking everyone. Kyrie didn't have a great game. Luka started a little slow again. And I don't know. This team's just so good in the clutch. I was talking about it all season long. They were the best clutch team. They had the best clutch record. You know who won Clutch Player of the Year? Steph Curry. Congrats on missing the playoffs this year for your Clutch Player of the Year. When one player had the most clutch points and the best clutch winning record. So it's fine. I don't care. Take the MVP, take the Clutch Player of the Year award. I'll take a finals MVP for Luka Doncic. That'll be great. That'll be just fucking great. But never too high, never too low. Mississippi State baseball fan here, 2021. That was the motto for that team. They got clobbered at some point in the SEC tournament, got run ruled, mercy ruled, back-to-back games. They were like, it's all right. So we got the bad out. Now we get the good in. Never too high, never too low. We're 2 games up on a team that went up 2 games and lost the lead and then had to come back to win it in game 7. So win at home, win one of these games at home, and I'm feeling great. Win both of them at home, and I'm feeling way better. But I'm not counting on a win. I'm just going to see what happens in game 3 on Sunday night, 7 o'clock. I'm excited. It's going to be back home. So we'll see how we play. And we're wearing our white jerseys in game 5, so I'd rather not do that. Just win the next 2, and we don't have to wear the white jerseys.
Yep. The funerals need to be had. Cue the Nas ether beat for some of those talking points you had there.
7 for 8. Nas Reed?
Yeah.
Went 7 for 8 from 3 until the last 3 of the game. He was 7 of 8.
Oh, shit.
7 of 8. He was just hitting every ungodly three. It was the most preposterous thing. He's either wide open or he's getting guarded to high heavens, and he was making every three all game long. And I was like, what? Why the fuck is he doing this? Like Jaden McDaniels was doing that in game one. I was like, he's getting guarded correctly. Like they're closing out correctly, and he's just making everything. Credit to them.
Right.
But
Right. The Timberwolves cannot play this bad and get away with it, obviously. But not only that, but Anthony, Rudy, Cat, Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, 2 out of 5 of them had good games, pretty much, over the past first two games. But if 3 or 4 or 5 of them have good games,
it's tough.
It's a bad beat. Yeah, it's a tough, hard beat, and this fuckery won't go on for much longer. They have to figure this out now, not later, not yesterday. It should have been yesterday. They need to figure this shit out. This is bad. And if you're losing two games by 4 points, it's inexcusable to play this bad and still have your team be that close because everyone else is stepping up. Cat, Ant-Man, most invisible players of the year. I'm looking at you. This is fucked. This is bad. Stone, please take it away.
Cat played 26 minutes last night and only had 2 fouls. Basically benched in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
They didn't want his ass out there, which is incredible. Some stats from last night's game. Free throw percentage 81 to 68 in favor of Minnesota. They shot 10 more free throws and had 2 more fouls than the Dallas Mavericks did last night. So I don't know how that happens. They shot the exact same from 3, 12 for 31, and that was the disparity in game one. The Timberwolves had like a plus 38, 39 points advantage on 3 points in game one, and they still lost. And I was like, I mean, we just had the worst offensive game that we've had. Luka hit half your threes in game one, and I was like, that's a good thing if Luka hit 6 or 7 threes. You're like, okay, well, we hit 14 or 15 threes. That's fine. No, we hit 6 threes, and Luka hit half of them throughout the game. They shot 24% from 3 and won the game by 3. Game 2, same from 3. Field goal percentage, 48 to 41. Points in the paint is incredible. 54 to 42 last night. They've just scored at will in the paint against the defensive player of the year and Twin Towers, as they say in Minnesota. They're like, oh, we play really good defense. That's fine. You're taking away the 3, but every possession you're giving up a 2, essentially. It's like, or every other position. Like half your points came from the paint. The largest lead was 3 for the Dallas Mavericks. The largest lead for the Timberwolves was 18. Same steals, same blocks, basically the same assists. Mavericks had 4 more rebounds. Like, they just something about this team. They just know how to win close games, and they have Kyrie. Obviously, that helps. He turned up in the fourth quarter when he was pretty much invisible the entire game. He had like 5 points in the middle of the third quarter. Finished with 20. Luka obviously finishes with 32 in the game-winning shot. It stole their hearts. Stole their hearts last night. Stole them.
Yep. Kyrie scoring those 6 points in about a minute in the beginning of that fourth quarter. I feel like that was not only the difference maker, but it really set the tone for what was about to happen. Kyrie Irving missing 3 free throws in the fourth quarter
in a row.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? I've never in my life seen Kyrie miss 2 free throws in a row at the line on a 2
game.
Yeah. Like, what are we? Oh my god! Like,
he's pissed himself too.
It makes you wonder. The Mavericks have so much, I guess, top heavy experience with Kyrie obviously being 14-0 in closeout games, and Luka Doncic being in or around the playoffs pretty much almost every year since he's been drafted. But it makes you wonder because their top heavy experience, like guys like PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively's, like straight down the line, versus the Timberwolves not necessarily having that much experience either. Obviously, those top 2 guys on the Mavericks matter so much more than the bottom whatever. But it just makes you wonder, like, these guys, both of these teams are inexperienced, so something's got to give. The unstoppable force against the immovable object, like I always say, and it's very clear that that's happening in real time with this series. I still cannot believe the Mavericks are up 2-0, like 4 fucking points. They've won by 4 points in 2 games, 1 point and 3 points. It literally cannot get closer than that. Like, what is happening, man? I hope, just for the sake of how good this series has been, I hope that the Timberwolves take 1 or 2 in Dallas, and we just keep fucking pushing forward. Because if we can get 7 of these, I don't even want to watch the finals.
Yeah.
That is my finals right now.
And just want to point out two things. PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. combined in the first two games, 2 of 18 from 3. We have gotten nothing from them.
Yeah.
Nothing. PJ Washington didn't have any points until the fourth quarter, I don't think, in game 1. And he scored 13. I think he had 11 last night. Derrick Jones Jr. had 8 on Wednesday, and he had I don't think he had a lot. He had 4 last night. Like, we haven't gotten good games out of the role players outside of Derek Lively, essentially. Tim Hardaway Jr. Played 5 minutes last night, shot one field goal attempt. Love that. The emergence of Jaden Hardy. They're playing like 11 men in the first 2 games. 11 guys in the playoffs,
insane,
and they've won
dude.
both of them. It's not like because people are hurt. It's because Jason Kidd's like, fuck it, Jaden Hardy, go out there and just do what you do. If you get the ball, try to shoot it. If you have the ball and you don't have a shot, try to make a play. And it's worked out. He's taken those Tim Hardaway minutes, and he's not like perfect. He's 3 of 7 last night, but 2 of 3 from 3, 8 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. Like, if you're getting that, and Dante Exum's ghost is out there, so that's fun. Like, Josh Green is okay. Like, he's an Energizer bunny, so like he plays good defense.
He got a good steal. He got a good steal there.
He had the good steal. Like, he makes good defensive plays, and he probably fucks up on offense more than he should, but that's okay if you're getting the good defensive end of the floor there. And the last thing I wanted to point out was Anthony Edwards last night, or game 1. We could see that how exhausted he was. Like, they're on a fast break, and he's just walking down the court in the fourth quarter, exhausted, played 40 minutes, the same as Luka and Kyrie. Game 2, during the fourth quarter, I think 3 minutes left, they took the timeout. The Mavericks did. They did the switcheroo. They put Luka and Kyrie on the bench, put their defensive guys in. They had to use it or lose it timeout to use. They get the stop. They use the timeout, bring the boys back in. I think Kyrie hit a big shot then around the 3-minute mark with a big 3. But during that timeout, Anthony Edwards went down the tunnel and was on oxygen throughout the entire TV timeout. They put him on oxygen.
Oh,
He's just worn down because he can't keep up with Kyrie and Luka on defense. Like, he just can't guard them and then carry the offensive load too. It's astounding that a 22-year-old Anthony Edwards, who looked like the most incredible player that we've seen in the playoffs so far during round 2, is just taking oxygen in game 2. Like, how many minutes did he play? He played 40 minutes again. So he's missed 16 minutes at total in 2 games, and he's on oxygen in game 2. I don't know what to even think about that, but it's a fun series.
Absolutely. Finchie also being there, sitting down.
And then he stands up every once in a while.
You're like, man, please. Like, you just know his heart rate's rising. You're like, dude, you got to, please. Just, you have a stool there. You have a chair that just get after it, brother. Fuck, man, this series is awesome. Jesus Christ, dude. I have so much to give in my brain, in my heart, in my mind. I love this shit, man. This is why we watch, dude. Like, every player top to bottom has made a somewhat of a difference this series. And even Tim Hardaway Jr., who has shot 1 field goal in 2 games, just you knowing that he's played that little of time and shot that little amount, think about the reassurance that not only you feel, but I'm sure people in the organization feel as well. Every player, every play matters. This is fucking awesome. This is the playoffs, man. Whoa, shit. I'm hyped.
The Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals is literally the Gordon Ramsay meme. It's like, oh, you fucking donkey. What, are you an idiot? Like, and then the one was like, oh, it's okay, sweetie. Like, you're doing great. That's the Western Conference Finals versus the Eastern Conference Finals.
Exactly.
Everyone is loving the Western Conference Finals on NBA Twitter. Like, Twitter last night was a love fest over the Western Conference Finals. Mm-hmm. Everyone was like, I need 7 games of this injected straight into my veins. Don't even worry about the finals. Don't even worry about the Eastern Conference Finals. This is it. And we're going to get to the finals, and we're going to see what happens in the Western Conference Finals. It looks like the Celtics are going to move on. If they don't, it'll be a fucking collapse of all collapses, and I would love to hear Bill Simmons talk about that. That would be great, but I don't think that's going to happen. Storylines, if you get to the finals for the Mavericks, is Kyrie versus Boston, KP versus Dallas. You get the revenge of both sides. It would be fun. It would be a lot of fun, but I'm not going to count my eggs before they hatch. I'm not going to do that.
Nope.
I'm not going to do that.
Job's not finished.
Up 2. Job's not finished. Up 2. Got to win 2 more just to get to the finals, and then you got to win 4 more. So job's not finished, but incredible 2 games. It's just some of the best basketball we've seen all season. Some of the best basketball we've seen in years, probably, honestly, in the playoffs. Like, it's really fun, and I'm really enjoying it right now, and I'm trying to just enjoy it while it lasts, because it could just be gone in a heartbeat, and I hope it doesn't.
One game at
I
a
wanna be
time,
happy.
brother. Enjoy
One
this,
game at a time.
feel this. I know your Stars aren't doing too hot right now. They're playing tonight, correct?
Yeah. It's the game one thing. They're 0-7 in their last 7 game ones in the
Okay.
playoffs.
Okay.
It is what it is. Lost in double overtime. It's okay. It's fine.
You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Keep
Just win
pushing
tonight,
through.
and I'll be okay.
In a best case scenario, the Mavericks and the Stars both get to the finals, which is looking somewhat likely. You would be the worst. Oh my god, the worst. We might have to record every day. We got to get Kevin on here, man. Fuck. Shout out the Apollo hockey crew, Stone and Kevin Lind. Live stream. When was that? Friday, Wednesday.
I think we did one Wednesday.
Pretty sick stuff, man. I'm trying to know puck as much as I can. You guys are making it accessible and fun. Shout out the names in hockey. Are you kidding me? There's a guy on the Bruins named Geeky. Oh my god, real geeker. This is awesome, dude. I love this shit. Welcome to what's looking to be a very fun June coming up.
I hope so. If you're interested in a live stream, can I interest you in a 24-hour live stream from the Apollo Media office starting Wednesday night at 7 p.m. with the Stars Game 4 against the Edmonton Oilers?
I'm there.
Could I interest you in that?
I'm there.
There will be challenges. There will be video game. NCAA 14 will be brought into the office. We will be doing a late night, early morning stream, more than likely at like 12 to 4 a.m. Maybe bringing back Coach Swaddle for those OG Apollo YouTubers. We got that. We got Astros games. We've got podcasts that will be recorded during the 24-hour live stream. So we're going to be live for 24 hours starting at 7 p.m. Wednesday night from the Apollo Media office on YouTube and Twitch. It's a donation stream, so we're going to donate to, I believe, a couple of different charities, but we'll let that be known later or earlier next week. So, yeah, tune into Apollo HOU, YouTube, and Twitch. 24-hour live stream. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hectic and a lot of not sleep. There's going to be challenges. For every goal scored in that Stars game on Wednesday night, I will be walking a mile post-game.
Oh.
So if there's like
awesome.
8 goals scored, I have to walk a mile in the office during the live stream.
Are we doing like a stationary treadmill, or are you just walking around?
I'm walking in circles around the office.
Oh my
It's
God.
going to be awful.
I'm
praying for a 1-0 game, Dallas win, but if it's 4-3, then I got to walk 7 miles, and it is what it is. I'll start that at midnight, so my steps restart on my watch. But yeah, that's going to be brutal. But we're going to want. Yeah, we got potentially a college baseball as well tournament going on, regionals. So. A lot of stuff going on during that 24-hour live stream. We'll have Zero Gravity episode in there, so I'm going to talk to Des and Josh and explain things to them like they're 5 years old during the NBA playoffs at
Beautiful.
like 8 a.m. one day. So, yeah, it'll be great. So, yeah, tune into the Apollo HOU live stream, 24 hours on YouTube, Twitch. Shout out to everyone that's watching basketball during this time period. It's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch more basketball tonight and tomorrow. I'm very excited, if you couldn't tell. Yep. Never too high, never too low. Never too high.
Job is not finished. Your like face is your like skin is melting off your face. You're like, man, the job ain't fucking finished. Job's not finished.
All I can see is Kobe just saying that over and over and over and over and over and over again in my brain. That's all it is. But yeah, shout out to our sponsors, Big City Wings, Prize Picks, and Sweet Green. If you're signing up for Prize Picks, use code Apollo when you sign up and get to up to $100 match on your first deposit. Shout out to Sweet Green. Use code Apollo50 on your first order on the mobile app. And get 50% off your first order. Not a big deal. Half off. And shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Thank you all for sponsoring this episode. Thank you for watching playoff basketball. And thank you, Josh, for letting me talk a little bit of shit, but not too much shit today.
Love it. Glad we're here. Keep fucking pushing. This is basketball season, man. That it doesn't get much better than this. We got the draft in a month. We got life ahead of us. We got life on us right now. Life in front of us. Life behind us. This is awesome. Enjoy it, feel it, but always remember that the job is not finished. Stay composed and take care of yourself. Like I'm talking to you, Stone. Take care of yourself. Yeah. Enjoy this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna just try not to die each and every night and not have a heart attack. But This has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast. Thank you all for listening and watching on the YouTube.